Right, part 3. So, people like Baxter Chemicals, Pfizer, Nestle, all the big corporates are under the control of one person. This is what I'm convinced of. Right, now is that person, that controlling mind, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, or her sister, cousin Queen Beatrice of Holland, under the guise of Dutch Royal Shell, or is it someone like David Rockefeller? Now, if you know who the richest person in the world is, maybe that can answer the question. Who's the controlling mind behind all of this global elitist corporatocracy, fascist depopulation mythology that's sprung up around YouTube and Alex Jones and Prison Planet and people like that? I'd like to know, so that I can issue them with a summons to go to court and answer for their crimes against humanity. Because compound interest is a crime against humanity. Bank loans must be a crime against humanity if it cripples your economy. Selling off a hospital for short-term profit must be a crime against humanity. Selling off the British water rights, selling off the Ethiopian water rights. The IMF, therefore, must be committing crimes against humanity. The IMF, International Monetary Fund, headquartered in New York, owned by America. The Federal Reserve Bank must be a criminal if they're conspiring to cripple economies. Now, we need someone in authority who has the money to fly to New York to present these people with summonses to go to court. There must be a way, short of violence, because I cannot condone violence. This is what bugs me about Islam, is that and don't call me an anti-Islamic, because I ain't. Alright? This is what bugs me about the Islamist terrorists, is that they're so willing to resort to violence when violence is not necessary. You don't need an AK-47 to write a letter of complaint to your president. Okay, the president might then send the secret police around to your house, but if all residents in a community stopped the police from wearing the body armour, or stopped the police from carrying AK-47s, they wouldn't be able to shoot you. You have to rewrite the laws to suit the people of the planet. That's the only way you can do it. But I'd still like to know who's in charge. We the people, or people like David Rockefeller, or Paul Rothschild, or that Bilderberg Baron, or HM Queen. I mean, it used to be HM Queen was in charge. Now, has she surrendered her control of the planet? Because remember, the British Empire once controlled 25% of the world's land surface. India has adopted the British legal system because it's a bloody good system. So, two things. Who's in charge? We the people, or some super rich global elite like Paul Rockefeller, or Paul Ross, David Rockefeller and Paul Rothschild. There you go. Right? Or HM Queen, or somebody unknown to me. And how do we fix it so that these people cannot depopulate the planet if they so desire? How do we fix it so that we're not paying crippling compound interest decided by the Federal Reserve Bank, or the Central Bank of Europe, or the Central Bank of China? How do we prevent all of these crimes against humanity from killing off humanity? Africa is poor simply because the IMF have forced unsustainable compound interest on their governments. The African Union can't stand up against the Federal Reserve System because they simply can't afford to go to war with America. Now we swapped the Cold War for the Federal Reserve War, the Info War, as some people like Alex Jones have called it. How do we now change the system so that David Cameron has to listen to the will of the people? Now we've got internet, we've got mobile phones, we got all sorts of ways of communicating now, and yet the government don't seem interested in using them. Bournemouth Borough Council have got this new thing called e-panel. Now I'd recommend you join it. Now I've been a bit too ill to join it, but as soon as I get back I'll join this e-panel. Right, just go bournemouth.gov.uk/e/panel. Just Google e-panel at Bournemouth Borough Council and you'll find it. And use it to promote your views. Now, if the majority of people say I'm talking bollocks, then throw some pink paint in my direction, right? And no, for those who associate pink with gayness, I ain't gay. And I'll quite happily tell you, sorry mate, you're batting for the wrong side. Nothing against gay people, it's just that I ain't gay. And I don't expect you to chat me up. Anyway, blah blah. So, who's in charge and how do we fix it? Because you can't resort to violence. Violence is the way of the bad guys. The bad guys want you to pick up the petrol bomb and throw it. Right? I'm saying to all the Muslims around the world, drop your AK-47s. Right? If you stick your hands up, they're either going to shoot you or they're not going to shoot you. Now, if they shoot you, you either end up seriously injured in hospital, as you keep getting on the news every night. 5 British soldiers died last night, or they'll just lock you up for a peaceful protest or whatever. Right? But if you tell the coppers to put their guns down, you as a citizen should have the right to say that. Now, if enough councillors and enough MPs and the Prime Ministers and the Presidents around the world came out and said no policeman will ever kill someone else in full accordance with common law, then we've made a victory. But until then, do not resort to violence. You cannot. Use the law on your side. Write an affidavit, send a letter of arrest, a notice of arrest. You get the letters through from the TV licensing, copy the language and send it back to them. Say, you owe me some money, which they do. Don't pay your TV license. There's even an argument against paying council tax. But I'm on benefits, so I don't pay it anyway, so why should I bother? It's free. And Brussels probably pays them a premium for me being on benefits and keeping me on benefits. Right, so who's in charge and how do we arrest them and get them assessed for insanity, mental illness and things like that? Because if you're a psychopath, as an eminent medical profession has described a corporate business as a psychopath, how do we get these guys locked up? Because profit can't be good. Cannot be good. I know Microsoft, you're going to hate me for saying this, but your software should be free. Why do we need to pay you anything? Why do we need to pay these corporate pigs, fat greedy landlords, any money at all? I'd quite like to do a compulsory purchase order on my flat, despite the fact that I've got a good landlord at last. Anyway, this is the end of part 3. My name is Stephen J. Humphrey, standing for election when eventually we get a general election as an independent candidate for Bournemouth East. Just thought I'd vary my mantra a little bit. So, peace.